Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 45 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of PSVR2, a show for those who would like to share our newfound enthusiasm for the world of VR. Now, I'm your host, Laurie, but hey, guess what? We are part of the Cross Players, right? So, if you like what you hear, do check out thecrossplayers.com for links to all of our content and our Discord. And if you like this show, you should really check out Crosscast, our weekly pod that follows the full spectrum of gaming. Now, it is an honour to be joined by two of the most Happy New Year influencers in the metaverse. It's Ben and Alex. How you doing, chaps?
Happy New Year!
Hooray! Come on, Alex, you'll set you up to sing there.
Should all the bit take
Yep.
it. Oh, you can't really see my arms, but yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you can't see Alex's arms because he's
as
wearing
a
a
walrus.
dressing gown type.
It's not a dressing gown, it's a
costume. Cosplaying as
slang
a
kit.
walrus.
I'm
New
not.
Year's
I'm
resolution.
That's
The
I'm
grown
part
test.
of E17.
Ah,
Yeah.
Baby, if you
Laurie.
got to
Hello.
go
you sound bunged up again, mate. Like you were a couple of
yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah. Like I am a couple of weeks ago.
It's come
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah. Do you had a busy New Year's last
It's been
night,
epic.
2 nights ago.
Oh.
I don't know what it was. I
Yeah,
don't know.
however long ago.
Let's
It's
not
hard to-
try and fool people. Look, truth is, everyone, we are recording this episode early, and we're going to put it out later on a few weeks' time, just so we can have the week off over Christmas, because we've all got families and people coming to stay and visits to do and stuff. So, yeah,
Why are you telling them that? This was this was perfect. No one would have known. You made.
no one would have known.
We've all changed clothes. This is pointless. You're just revealing the. Oh, you've ruined it now.
No, it's
Christmas
fine.
and New Year's ruined, Laurie. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, man. But
Wanker.
it's true. It's true. So just needed to acknowledge the elephant in the room in case anyone, in case when Sony reveal
He's a
Astro
walrus. We've established
the
this.
walrus in the room. That is Alex. When Sony reveal Astrobot 2 for the PSVR 2, people will be tuning in to hear our thoughts on it. And if they don't get that, they just hear us waffling on about Alex being a walrus. They'll think, what's going on? Why aren't they talking about this big news?
I am the walrus.
My TV's
So-
just come on behind me. I'm very
curious.
perplexed by this.
Yeah,
Ooh.
now we're watching.
I'll
see
mute
what's gonna-
myself.
Now
It's
we're
the
gonna watch to see
excitement of what's
gonna
coming
come
on. Yeah.
Yeah. TV's New Year's resolution.
It's the Grinch, everyone. How festive.
Hey, there we go.
Let me turn that
There we
off.
go.
You carry on.
Yeah. Well, mute yourself at the very least, Ben, just so we don't have to listen to the Grinch in the background.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost.
One Grinch is enough for this podcast. Whoa. That's Ben. He's the Grinch, right?
Ben's not the Grinch.
No? Are you volunteering for that
No.
role?
No, I'm a happy one.
Happy. Okay, well, we've got an episode here. We've pre-recorded this, so we are not going to be talking about the news because who knows what's happened this week. But we are going to be talking about our year in review stats, which Sony did their year review thing a few weeks ago. Now, as we're listening to this, so we're going to look back and see what our year in the review stats were and what our PSVR 2 stats, most importantly, are. A little bit of what we've been playing, but then we are the start of a new year, so we are going to be looking ahead to see what games we might be playing on our PSVR 2 headsets this year. So we've got a few things that have been announced, and we know what's coming in 2024. I'm sure there'll be more, but we're going to be having a look and see what we already know about and see what we're excited about. Sound good, chaps?
Does indeed.
Sounds wonderful. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing. In fact, no, we'll do our year review first. Who would like to go first on their year in review?
You, Laurie.
Yeah, you go first, Laurie.
Well, I haven't actually got my year. All I have is the stat. Well, I can't remember it. There was lots of it. My year reviews are usually I don't really pay much attention to them. I think it told me I was playing about 190 hours. I played all year. And around the 200-hour mark, certainly by the time this episode records, I'll be playing quite a lot more over Christmas, so it'll be over 200 hours. And it told me that was 46.7% of my time was spent on PlayStation VR2, playing 64 games, which I thought was interesting because it's kind of a 50-50 split now. And bearing in mind that the PSVR 2 only came out in February, so it's not the full year to compare it with. So I think if it was, then that probably would be 50-50. So yeah, about 100 hours on PSVR 2 this year, 100 hours on normal PS5 this year. How does that compare with you guys?
So, what was your total hours?
About 200
For the whole
hours
year?
for the year.
Okay.
I think it's about
Mine was
190.
326 for the year on the PlayStation, and 6 of those are on the VR. No, and it says I was actually quite surprised how high this was. About 30% of my game time was spent playing 52 games on PlayStation VR2, which I was.
That's probably not.
I was quite surprised.
The same number of hours on the VR as me then.
Quick bit of math. Sure, I can believe that.
Ish.
What about you, Alex?
Oh, I was very close. An hour's Ben, it's very, very close. I was 336 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But I have played 50.6% of my time playing VR2 in 83 games.
But bear in mind, since
Bloody
VR
hell.
launched, there's more. You've paid more than on, because you say you don't have a full year to compare it to. You spend more time playing VR than you have non-VR on PS5
Yeah, and
this
I
year.
think that's quite evident when you look at when you look at the top 5
By month and
games.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my top 5 games, which is one of my top 3 games is God of War Ragnarok, which I'd finished before PSVR2 launched. So that was right at the very, very beginning of the year. So there was 25 hours on that. And then two of my top 5 games of the year were VR games.
Wow.
So
I think I can guess one of them.
Yeah, I think we can.
So
What was your top 5 in total? Like what were they?
So one was Masternoid. Surprise. I genuinely do love that game. It's not for comedic effect on this podcast. I genuinely do love that game. And that does not take into account the number of hours that I've also played it on Quest 3. So,
really? Oh, God.
Yes. So we then have Final Fantasy 16 at number 2, which I wish I could just delete and be like, I wish I hadn't played that.
Why did you?
I don't know. Ben, why did we play it? Then God of War Ragnarok at number 3. Spider-Man 2 at number 4, which was fine. Again, I wish I'd spent more time and maybe some other stuff than what I spent on that, but we're done, and it was Spider-Man. And number 5 is Walkabout Mini Golf.
Wow.
Walkabout. That is a lot of hours on Walkabout.
Yes.
I much like you, Alex, I had 2 VR games in my top 5. However, I did not play the VR versions of those games. So mine was...
guess one of them.
I had... go on. What was it?
Well, Gran Turismo 7.
Yes. That was my second most played game of the year.
Oh,
And then my
okay.
third...
the third one would have been Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, quite right. And then number 4 was Street Fighter 6, and number 5 was Final Fantasy 16 as well, Alex. And I don't remember playing that for that long. And then my number 1 was Baldur's Gate 3, which I've played 37 hours of and barely scratched the surface of. So, yeah, lots more.
Well, I've got my top 5 up now. I've logged into my wrap up. So number 5 was Horizon Forbidden West, and that would have been the DLC. Was it Forbidden Shores DLC they did? Or it was Burning Shores, that's it, sorry. Then number 4 was Gran Turismo 7. Number 3 is God of War Ragnarok. And number 2 is Cyberpunk 2077. And number 1 was Marvel's Spider-Man 2. 24 hours I spent on that one.
2 hours more than...
And you played that to completion, didn't you? Spider-Man 2?
I did, yeah. Finished it, yeah. Finished that.
That's pretty decent.
Not gone around and platinum and stuff. I may do now. I have the portal, so now I'll do all the things. I can just sit there on the sofa and do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, I didn't finish that one. But yeah, Cyberpunk again. That's playing the DLC mainly. Ragnarok. That probably when did Ragnarok come out? That was last year's game, wasn't it? But I probably still was
November
playing
22.
Yeah, so I would have still been playing it back in January.
Do you think, speaking of DLC and Ragnarok, do you think you'll play that Valhalla?
Yeah,
DLC
for sure, certainly.
Yeah.
It's pretty brilliant. So yeah,
It does look good.
I traded it in.
Maybe we have been playing it over the last.
Maybe I have. Yeah, probably have been.
Yeah.
See, this is why we just need to be honest.
You traded in Ragnarok, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, foolish.
Because I knew it.
Just wanted to check. You're a big Viking fan, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
It's fair to say. Fan of
Norse,
Vikings.
yeah, Norse mythology, yeah,
Yep.
Viking history, that kind of stuff.
Are there any other cool words that video games can use apart from Ragnarok and Valhalla?
No, there are not.
Because they just seem to repeat the same words for everything.
I mean, they're the only Viking
Viking-related.
words that everyone knows. If you do like Mjolnir and stuff for Thor's hammer, some people might know that, but that's not a cool word, is it? That's just like
I don't know. It just feels a bit
Valkyrie.
like surely there must be more.
Valkyries, that's quite a cool
Valkyrie's
word.
a cool word. Yeah,
Valkyries. I mean, you have
just
Valkyries in God of War, don't you? So.
You do, but I don't know. I just feel when that was announced at the Game Awards, and it was like, surely they're not calling it Ragnarok Valhalla.
I'm surprised there's not a new
wasn't-
Assassin's Creed Valhalla Ragnarok
Yeah.
DLC as well.
Isn't that what the DLC was called for Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
Fantastic.
mental. Also, you mentioned the Portal there. Portal, as Alex and I know, great for trophy hunting. What was your trophy haul for the year for you guys? Yeah. I'm just interested. I know it's meaningless, Laurie. I know
I'm looking now. I would not have even looked at this tab before. 369 trophies, 39 of which were gold, 106 was silver. I've never ever done anything to get a trophy. They just wash over me. I've never gone out of my way to think, if I just go and do one more thing, I'll get the trophy.
Do you not get that?
If I could switch the whole thing off, no. If I could switch the whole thing off, I would. Can you do that? Maybe you can.
I've never felt less in sync with you. What about you, Alex?
I got 761 trophies this year.
Fucking hell!
Well,
Nine
that's quite a lot.
platinums, 107 golds, 160 silvers, and 485 bronze.
Wow.
I went from level 292 to 350.
Do you not just? I mean, this is a different debate for a different podcast. But when I see like the list of things on the trophy list and stuff, and I think the things you have to do to get some of the gold and silver. Some of them, like, you just need loads of things just to get a bronze trophy. Like I don't know, shoot 1,000 people with this weapon. You're like, I'm not going to fucking do that. I don't care. Like,
not stuff like that you do just from playing the game. Mm-hmm. Like, you wouldn't get a platinum on a game you dislike, but if you're playing a game enough anyway, a lot of them will just come naturally. And then you get to the end of it, and you're like, I've only got 3 or 4 more to get. I might as well go back and hunt that extra little collectible or whatever. But yeah, I like it. I got 556 trophies for the year, which is not too shabby. 4 platinums, 46 gold, 121 silver. So 385 points.
That's some impressive numbers, chaps.
What type of gamers were you?
Oh, good question.
Oh, Thrill Seeker, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
You are a crazy motherfucker. Mine was role player.
Ooh. I'm a connoisseur.
Really?
Yes.
Of what?
Says I've spent 31% of my game time defying conventions and playing whatever you feel like.
That's what you get for playing Masternoid as your number one game of the year. Like, what should we call it? I don't know. It's
Connoisseur of playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thrill Seeker, I spent 42% of my game time on the edge of my seat, and the other 50% I was standing up. So, yeah, makes sense. If I'm not on the edge of my seat, I'm standing up playing VR games. Very rarely am I on the back of my seat.
I spent 21% of my time playing RPGs, leveling up, etc., etc. So now it's recommended a bunch of RPGs to me that I've already played. So that's nice.
Yeah, well, my thrill-seeking recommended games. What's that it gives me? Horizon, I've already played that. Demon's Souls, I'm only going to play that.
Oh, come on.
I play Elite 5. What the hell is this coming from? No, okay. I'm not playing it.
My favourites, I love all of this stuff, all this analytics. My favourite one that people were sharing online was the friend maker one, where it's like people had posted this, your social style, the friend maker. With your magnetic personality, you made 1 new friends this year. It's just like loads of people posting
so magnetic.
I made 23 new friends.
23?
Yeah.
I made 8.
I made 2, and I suspect it's you 2.
Yeah. I think we found our Grinch.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, actually, no, one of them we Reese. One of them we Reese. We played Ghostbusters. I don't know who the other one is.
Apparently, 16% of my time was spent playing PS4 games as well. That's quite a high percentage for PS4 games, isn't it?
Well, I think it's funny because I'm like, how has that worked out? Because it told me 97% of my time was played between PS5, but it's splitting your non-VR time between like PS4 and PS5. So it's like 16% of your 70% or whatever. It's a really silly way to do it.
I think I played quite a lot of Kena Bridge of Spirits earlier in the year, so that would have been my PS4 time.
Why did you do that to yourself?
That's because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Beautiful game. Beautiful.
I might pick it back up again on my PS4 tool.
I think my PS4 time was only about 2%.
Yeah, cool. Well, someone should invent some sort of thing where you could take your year in review for Xbox and Switch, which all came out the same day. I don't understand why they don't give each other like a few days between just flooding social media with it all, but they all came out the same day. Someone should just like, right, give me all of your year in review. Just give me my entire gaming year in review. That would be quite cool. And surely not that hard to do.
No. Was your PlayStation your most played console this year?
Yeah.
No? Alex is shaking his head. Was yours Xbox, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, his Xbox.
Which I was quite surprised by. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. Well, mine was the Switch by far. So there we go. We're representing all three.
Yeah, my Xbox was about 40 hours I played it. I think it worked out. And then the Switch, I couldn't get accurate ones because my son plays it loads, but it would have been about 100 hours, I think, the Switch. I think it was about 100 hours on Breath of the Wild and on Tears of the Kingdom. And that's probably...
My Switch one was quite amusing.
Well,
like
what
was that?
Why?
Because there was like nothing
Not
on
going to
it.
tell us why. Nothing.
It was like basically like I don't even think I could fill half the things. It was just like you played nothing. There was so many months that you did like absolutely nothing. Like
why are you bothering? Why are you bothering
Yeah.
downloading this? There you go. Well, looking back on 2023, but enough looking backwards. It's time to look forwards, gents. Time to look forwards. But let's talk about what we've been playing. And a game which has still not come out yet, it's due to come out in 2024, is Vertigo 2. Are you both played a little bit of this?
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I've played the most of this. And neither of you two have played Half-Life, have you?
No.
Blows my mind. That's a whole different discussion for another day. Okay, so Vertigo 2 is the sequel to Vertigo. And it's a first-person shooter game that is very much influenced by or homage to the Half-Life games. It's set in some, I think it's like some alien world power station that's underground. So a facility, basically, where there are pipes and things and rooms to go through and staff rooms and factory type bits to go through. Basically, you'll go through a facility and there's aliens everywhere. It's a confusing, convoluted story that just doesn't really matter too much. It doesn't make much sense. But it's a first-person shooter. The guns you get are all very alien and very odd, but it's a pistol and a shotgun and a machine gun and stuff, but they're all alien versions of that stuff. So it's all very imaginative. It's very wacky. It's very silly. And I quite like it. It's just the thing you have to... It's got really good reviews on Quest or PC VR, where it's already been out. It was due to be out by now, but obviously it's been delayed. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, it will be out. Because it was due to come out in mid-December. It got a delay at the last minute because they found some bugs in it, so some game-breaking bugs, so they pushed it back. At the time we recorded this, we still don't know when it was due to release, so it may have come out by now, but it may not have done. We haven't played too much of it. I've played it for a few hours. I think you guys have probably played it for less than that. So this is very much just our initial first impressions of it. But what strikes me with it really is just it is so much like it's like a fanfic for Half-Life. It really does love, and it wears that influence on its sleeve. It makes lots of in jokes, and there's lots of knowing like winks that the game is doing to you all the time, where it's a reference to stuff that happens in Half-Life. Like at the very start, when you go to collect your first weapon, there's some like drone bot thing that's sort of showing you around to where the weapons are. And at first off, it sort of tries to give you a crowbar. It's like, there's no way we'd give you a crowbar to go around a facility with trying to destroy aliens. That would be crazy. And then it switches to a gun. So it's just obviously, there's all these little references and taking the mickey out of Half-Life in a very kind of affectionate way. But there's other Valve references in there as well. Like I found the portal. There's a room with a portal gun and some portals on the wall and stuff. So there's some other stuff like that to it throughout it. But yeah, it's just amazing. This really amazes me that it's made by such a small team of just a few people. It just absolutely blows my mind because it is like you could tell in some parts of it that it's not a huge AAA big game with big team, but it is still massively impressive. All the same, like the graphics are good, the design, the physics, it has a good level of polish to it.
Yeah,
not quite that. I think you're right. You can tell there are a few bits. Like immediately, we spoke about a few episodes ago about the frog with the saggy boobs.
Well, we didn't really talk about it, but yeah, the frog with the saggy boobs.
Yeah, but the voice, I was like, that sounds like. They've just wheeled in some. Yeah, it sounds like they've just wheeled in. Oh, it's my mate that does silly voices.
And, yeah.
Hello. Like, just do a generic alien voice.
It might have been Truth. That might have been one of Truth's.
Might have been Truth.
Yeah,
could have been Truth. Shout out to Truth. I hope he's found Terry Venables. But yeah, it was just very. There's a few bits like that, and like I didn't know if it was a stylistic choice, but like the eyes of the characters seem very odd. It's just it's all very weird, but
is it Brian? I think is the scientist that's like there trying to help you return home, and he's kind of created a whole industry in his own image and stuff. And I don't know. There are bits in it that are there's real highs and lows because there are bits where you're flying like you get in. He's piloting a gunship type thing. Like it's like airship thing, and you get on it with him, and then he's like, "Oh, we're being chased! Quick, take the controls!" And you have to shoot these ships that are chasing you. And it's like this is brilliant. Like, you look around; it's all like glass bottom to this airship and stuff, and you can see that where you're going around. You're just flying around this mountain and stuff. But like if you look, you can kind of the sort of scenery is sort of like 2D cutouts. Like if you look for it, you can see the facade. But if you just are in the moment, I was like, this is really impressive. Like, this is, and it's really fun as well. And it's doing quite cool stuff. Like you're in this drone ship, you pick up this kind of Gatling gun that you can just shoot all these things that are chasing you with, and it's just really fun. And it's like a completely different style of gameplay to what you've had up to at that point. And it's just really impressive. And it's more. It comes back to what we talk about with Asgard's Wrath. Like that was a real big AAA game that Meta have made with loads of resources, and you think some of these people that are making these VR games, and they are just doing it on what must be absolutely tiny budgets for the world of games, and you think, God, if this person had the resources, because they've got that kind of imagination, that spark. It just shows like the value of indie games where people would there was a lot more charm to them. That's what I think this game for me has just so much charm that I like with it. Some of the alien designs as well are just hilarious, and one of them is just this sort of cube head thing with an eyeball and stuff. And you can read there's a like a directory of all of once you see something for the first time, it gets added to your directory, and you can read about it and stuff. And it's all really silly and really funny. It makes me laugh like reading about the descriptions to it. One of the main enemies is these kind of zombie type things, and instead of a head, they just have a hand of an eyeball in it. It's just everything is just bizarre and surreal and just mad. But yeah, it's funny. And again, it's like Half-Life, because in that, where there's just aliens pulled in from different dimensions into the Black Mesa facility and you have to shoot them, that's kind of like what's happening here. Is just pulling in aliens from other dimensions and stuff. So it's just really, really weird, bizarre, surreal shit, but it kind of makes sense in that Half-Life. Half-Life have already done that. That's already a massive game that everyone loves. So this game can get away with being ridiculous, because it's just like, well, if Half-Life can do it, why can't we?
So it sounds like your first impressions are pretty good. What have we got? Can we speculate what we think the bugs were that have made it need to be delayed?
There are some issues with it. Like, I don't want to go into too much because it doesn't really feel fair, because they delayed it and we haven't played it.
Yeah, that's true.
But from what I've played, the aiming feels quite hit and miss, and even when you try and be more accurate, it just seems to have no bearing on how accurate you actually are. But the fact that you have infinite ammo and it just kind of self reloads and regenerates, you do have to swap out the cartridge. I love
that about it.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Always having a clip on your waist to just reload without having to worry about finding ammo and stuff. That's so good. That's such a nice touch. One less thing to worry about.
Yeah, so you could be quite liberal with your shots, but yeah, trying to aim is just like pointless. You just kind of shoot, just keep shooting, and it's like trial and error, really. So maybe they're working on that. I don't know, and maybe it was just like an area of the game where you get to and it just causes the game to crash, and then that's it.
Yeah,
I also don't think the trophies were working.
Well, yeah, no one cares about that, do they? So.
It's for idiots. Yeah,
so genuinely, because I think Laurie, I got to the stage you were at in terms of being in that helicopter thing, and I didn't pop a single trophy by that point. And I then looked at some of the trophy lists, and like some of them, like I did that, and I did. So I don't think the trophies were potentially working. But again, we're not going to. We're not commenting the final build of the game here, and we're not reviewing it, and we're just saying, giving our initial impressions. But and I'm sure whatever it is will be fixed. And fair play to Perp to taking it and saying, no, we're going to give the time and give this the release and give the people the game that they deserve. And I think it will land in a very good state in fair play to them.
Yeah, so it's definitely one I want to keep playing. It just seems it's breezy and fun, and it's a bit like Arizona Sunshine too in that respect. It's not taking itself seriously at all, and you get through the levels quite quickly, or the sections quite quickly. So yeah, it's quite fun. And, yeah, I want to keep playing it for sure. I like these first person VR games where it's not intense pressure like your Firewatches or anything. I just like this, or even your Crossfires here as well. I much prefer these ones that are a bit more sillier and lighthearted, and a bit more you could just be a bit more gung ho with it all. And it's not really about the pressure.
Don't want the tactics of it all. It's more just like run and gun.
Yeah, have some fun with it all. Yeah. Okay. So what else have you guys been playing recently, gent?
We've been playing together, Ben, haven't we? We've had
lovely.
Little gaming sessions. Yeah.
Very Christmassy. Yep. So it's all about, isn't it?
We played a bit of. We started off with a bit of Walkabout mini golf, obviously, because there's not much more fun over Christmas to do than play Walkabout mini golf with your friends.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we played some more Meow Wolf. I suppose I've talked about this before, Ben. It might be good for your first impression.
Yeah, that's my first time playing that course, and I didn't really know what to expect. I was expecting it to be colourful, but it's trippy. Like it is like a proper acid trip of a experience. Not that I've ever done acid, but
for the
record, mother, if you're listening. But yeah, it's just very warped, isn't it? Like, it just plays with your expectations. And I said this to Alex while we were playing. I was like, have you ever played What the Golf? Because it does some stuff like that where it just plays with what golf even is throughout the course as well, which is really creative. And yeah, there's parts that just introduces new mechanics, flips the whole look and sound of it at one point. And I think that was my favourite point. I was just like, it just changed everything about the course. And I almost don't want to say too much about it. Like it's ridiculous to spoil a mini golf course, but I think that I wouldn't want to take that away from someone's first go at playing it, because it blew my mind playing it. It was really good.
I was very much like when I played this, I played it with Lewis as well. And then when I played it with you, and I didn't want to be the person going first at each of the holes, because I didn't want to spoil the experience from you guys, because I'd experienced it, whereas I was trying my best. Like I would rather you guys were going first, because it is one of those. And I think hats off to Mighty Coconut for this, but it's one of those experiences. Like it is an experience. Like the first time you play this,
so maybe I should play it just on my own the first time round. Just play it single player.
I mean, not necessarily, but
play it with us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to get to go first on any of the holes, am I? Because that's last time we had to go.
But if you set up the room, you'll at least start.
Okay,
there you go.
okay.
But yeah, that didn't ruin it. Like Alex
No.
consistently beat me throughout it, and I didn't feel like that took away from the experience. So,
okay,
very good, very good.
And then we also played some Sea Smash.
Ooh.
Which we got a little sweat on, Ben, didn't we?
It went on. That session went longer than I was anticipating. It's really good. Played a lot of the multiplayer modes, obviously. Weirdly, like the main, well, not the main one, but the sort of the basic.
Versus
I can't remember what it's called. Versus mode was. I think that was the weakest of them.
Yeah.
Like I felt like all the others were infinitely more fun.
Infinitely more fun. Wow. It's just a bit more fun. Infinitely.
No, infinite. Was it like Body Shot was one of them?
Yeah.
Where you basically have, and that again, this went on for ages. So you're just stopping the ball from hitting yourself and trying to hit your opponent, basically.
There's two balls.
and
There's one. Yeah.
Yeah, and these rallies just go on for bloody ages. So that was good. And what was the one with the wall where you're trying to hit the panels?
Fireball.
Yeah,
that went on for amazing. like that went on forever, and Ben was like, "Oh, like come on," because basically there's about seven panels in this ball, and you need to basically turn them all. So I think,
turn them all your colour. Basically,
If you turn them all your colour, you win. But I think you can also set it so that there's a time, so that whoever has spent the most amount of time or generated the most amount of points within that time wins. But I'd set the time to infinite, so it had to be the first person who got all the panels, and we were going for a long time, and it was like, oh, this is never going to end, and Ben was doing so much better at this than me, and then I ended up winning it.
It won it, and then we look at the score at the end, and my score was like tens of thousands more than ours.
But you win by default because you got all the panels.
Take it up with Yorg if you're not happy, Ben. Take it up with Yorg.
Well, it made it fun. It was genuinely fun.
I've played that one. I've played that mode only against the bot, and I think that's definitely my favourite of the modes. That one you're talking about.
I think the other one that was good that I liked was Quick Shot. But I'm sure it was Quick Shot, wasn't it? And that was basically you had the little square, and it got bigger and bigger as the rally went on. You got fewer points. So it was like aiming through the square. That was quite good. So,
and that was good. And I did towards the end of it. I was definitely noticing I got better at the game in general, like at being able to aim it. Because my first few times playing Sea Smash, it was just like I'm getting the ball back, but I'm not really deliberately aiming it anywhere. Whereas towards the end of that, Alex, it was like, right, I know what I'm doing now, and just about getting it in the general vicinity of where I wanted to. So, yeah, it's a cracking little game. Great multiplayer.
And we did play some co-op as well. So we played the Infinity mode in co-op. So we did do not too bad like that. I mean, we didn't do amazingly well, but we started with that. We wanted to do more of the versus mode, so we didn't spend too long on that, but we enjoyed it. It was good.
Most importantly, did you do a little dance on the train on the way to your level?
Yeah, I did. Ben didn't.
Of course.
Well,
did you?
Of course not.
Well, just with my feet, you couldn't see it.
I mean, I turned down and danced at Ben. He didn't even look at me.
Well, it didn't even occur to me. Sorry, were we on the same train?
Yeah.
He
just stood there, stern faced under me, looking forward. Just get me to the destination, thanks.
Game face. Sorry, that's I'm too used to London commuting. Yeah, just ignoring people.
We all talk to each other.
If you danced on the underground, you'd be sectioned by the time you got to your.
You would.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good fun.
We did. I was very glad we finally spent a good bit of time exploring those modes. It was good.
Wonderful. Well, let's get on to our big 2024 preview. Before we do that, if people want to support this sub, what are we talking about? Support this pod, they can give it a sub on the service they're using. Leave us a review too, and follow us on Twitter at CrossbuttonVR and at the Crossplayers. And you can also follow us on, or not, sign up to support us on patreon.com/the Crossplayers. For £2 a month, you can help us produce the show and gain entry into our exclusive WhatsApp group where all the most fun stuff happens. Surely. Cool. Surely. Right, 2024. It's another year. It's a new year. We still don't really know what Sony's working on, but for anything much these days. Presumably they're going to announce some other VR games at some point, one would hope. But we do have lots of things that have been released that we are due to be playing soon. I'm just going to go through a list of them because we haven't got time to go through and talk about all of them in detail. So I'm just going to go through a list of them and maybe we'll just pick out some of the ones from that list that we are most looking forward to. How's that sound?
Do you want us to pick them off as we go? What do you want to get through the list and then go back to them?
As we go. Why not?
Cool.
Why not?
Sounds good.
Sounds like we might need to give your voice a break, so we'll interject.
Thank you.
Always thinking of you, baby.
Right, well, first thing I've got on my list is Vertigo 2. We've already been talking about that. Maybe it's out by now. Maybe we're still waiting to fix that game-breaking bug. Who knows? But that's coming out soon. But the next game then is Bulletstorm, which is coming out on the 18th of January.
Looking forward to this. This should be fun. I think it has all the hallmarks of being a proper fun game like the original was. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
But you've played the original?
No,
I'm sure it did in 360
PS3 game, wasn't it?
Yeah. PS3 360, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, I was not playing games back then.
You weren't a gamer back then?
No.
I think I've played some of it. I don't think I completed it. Or
Back in the day when Ben read books of an evening and did more culture things, like goes visits art galleries and museums and things.
Yeah. Played the cello. Whatever cultured people do. Yeah.
Well, no more cello. Now we're bulletstorming our way through 2024. Madison VR is due to come out in February the 24th, I believe. Madison VR, get it? No, not going to play that. So, horror game.
No.
We'll find one of our horror correspondents to come in and talk about that. Tin Hearts VR, we know about that one.
Yeah.
We played the demo. Big fan of that already. I like the demo. I like that one. I would be keen to play some when it comes out.
Is there a flat version on Game Pass, Alex?
It's
Did you see
it's
that?
on Game Pass now. Yeah, it was added in December. So yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
flat version.
Well,
you can.
good to compare and contrast.
And it has. I'm sure it has. It's currently, or not currently, but kind of currently, because we know we're pre-recording this. Die Hard festive not DLC, but it's currently got a little Die Hard theme to it with some characters in the game.
In Tin Hearts.
Yeah.
That's the crossover nobody saw coming.
The juxtaposition there. Okay. The next up, I'm going to stop myself straight away, is Wanderer Fragments of Fate. And this is probably my most anticipated
That's
game.
a Laurie
Still, yeah. So, yeah, story-driven narrative thing. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And it looks so polished.
One of the best PSVR games as well, right? It's supposed to be...
Yeah, and it's kind of like a full-on
an upgraded
remake.
version of that.
Yeah, like a proper... It's not just like graphics. I think they've rejigged the mechanics and the structure of the game as well. It's quite it's almost like, right, if we'd have had more time, this is the game we would have made. So it's great that they go back and really create the thing that they really want to make.
Yeah.
But yeah. Looks really cool. Next up is Behemoth, and all we've seen on this is a very sort of CG trailer that looks very epic tone, like some sort of giant, Behemoth type monster boss type thing. Bit like what's the
Shadow of the Colossus,
Yes.
one of the greatest games of all time.
That's the one. Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This looks cracking. If the fidelity of it matches the trailer, this could be very special. And if it does play like Shadow of the Colossus in any way, a couple of massive ifs. If that, it's going to be amazing.
If it's got the best graphics ever and plays like one of my favourite games, I'm excited.
But at least it is coming from a developer with a good track record. So I mean, the Saints Sinners games are highly regarded. So you know there is potential. Yeah, Skydance.
Yeah. So
no idea when this was coming out. Pubata coming out as well. Another horror game. What?
Laurie, we've discussed the silent P before.
Pubata. That's what I said.
There we go.
I'm very
You
bummed
said pube matter. Oh, like what?
What? God, Alex.
Laurie's got a pube matter he wants to discuss. Go ahead,
I may be very bugged up with a
different type
cold,
of
but
VR.
you're putting words in my mouth there, Alex. Pubata. Yeah, okay, move on.
More horror correspondent will be needed for that.
Yeah, if you want the horror VR games, tune into a different podcast, I'm afraid. Borderbots VR should have been out already. It was delayed indefinitely, so that will presumably be coming out in 2024.
I think it was given a date when it was delayed, so it was coming out in February. So it was dated out to February. I think it's if I remember correctly, I think it might be the 16th of February. I don't know why that date's sticking in my head.
Wow, if that's right, Alex, that is why we pay you the big bucks.
It's so I'm looking forward to this one, and we still have the build they gave us for the initial release, so we can play this in advance. I've been holding off to near the time, but
I am afraid to say that you are wrong. It's the 8th of February. So
it was double the half the 16. Yeah, it wasn't
double the
far
half
off.
of 16.
Aye, well,
He's an accountant. Trust him.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, you did
wasn't
well.
far
You knew it was
off.
February. You knew it was February, so you got far
and
better than me.
I was in the right times table, so
Yep. Okay, Happy Funland, the one that's coming out. This is getting a physical edition. We've seen a few trailers for this. Looks quite fun. Looks to be more the kind of switchback end of the kind of horror, where it's a bit more kind of tolerable as well. More like a ride, sort of fun fair type esque.
yeah.
Could be good.
That's as you say, Ben, more tolerable is certainly a very good way of putting it.
More tolerable. Put that quote on the box.
This game
And it's getting a box as well.
infinitely tolerable.
Infinitely more tolerable than other games. They'd be better. Next up, Aces of Thunder. There's more than one of them. Aces of Thunder. This is a game, I'm sure, did I see a tweet today even saying that they were hoping to get to the end of 2023. They're not going to make it. Release date coming as soon as possible, but it's going to be a 24 game now.
Yeah, I think they did hope that it was going to come 23, but so did many other games. But you take the time the game needs, and this looks very good. It says it's going to use all the features of the PS VR2. It feels like, obviously, what was the game that came out that people were really disappointed with?
I mean,
the
you
other
need to be more specific.
the other flying.
I know what you mean.
The other flying
only
one.
had
the one that
few
was
levels.
a few levels. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
It was only a few weeks. It wasn't even long ago, and I can't remember.
I think it's Aces of Thunder. Is it exclusive to PSVR 2?
I think so. Yeah, because it is going for a lot of the features of the headset. I think it is.
And they've been using a lot of their marketing videos as well. So I feel like it kind of needs to be good from Tony's perspective. Like they need to. Yeah, I'm sure they'll tell them to keep delaying it until it really is polished and does give people the experience they want.
Just on that though, Sony don't seem too picky about putting pretty mediocre games in their trailers, do they? Like they've had a few where you've gone, why is that?
Well, they put that other flying one in it. Remember, like when
Sure, but I'm sure they would prefer the games to be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. In lieu of a good game, here's this one. But it might be good. I don't know.
Next up is Into the Darkness VR, which is a game that's already out on Steam. An action adventure game with kind of lots of physics mechanics in it. This one looks really good to me. Alex, I think, have you seen the trailer for this one as well?
Yeah, I have. It definitely looks interesting, this one. A lot of potential.
Yeah, I watched it and there was something that put me off and I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I don't fancy that. But that's as much insight as I have.
It looks like it's a kind of first-person shooter game with kind of bits of climbing and stuff and a lot of shimmying across rails and stuff with a story to it. So yeah, it's definitely my kind of thing. It's a hubris-like, so definitely my sort of thing. I think I got that wrong actually. I think it's not out yet for PCVR. I think it's coming to PCVR first, and then they're doing the ports to Quest and PSVR 2. Right. So who knows? It was supposed to be out already by now for PCVR, and then working on the ports. So who knows when we will be getting that one.
Just very quickly, Project Wingman was the name of the game I couldn't remember.
That's the Badger.
That's the disappointing game. Firmament is the next one. Now, this is the one, Alex, you told me this is the Mist creators. Is that right?
Yeah. So this came out on PCVR this year, 2023. And so hopefully
So this is like a puzzle adventure type thing. So this should be
one of the games that we like.
It looks kind of like The Room, but with the bigger scope. Almost like you're out there in the world solving little puzzles. I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the best reviews out there though, so we'll see.
No.
I think a lot of it was, when it released in Steam, I think there were performance issues more than the quality of the game, so I don't think it was necessarily So I think it suffered from that more than other bits. But then who knows? Hopefully, all of that's been fixed now, and when it gets to being a port, it will be better.
It looks a bit. I watched a bit of Beardo Benjo streaming it, and it looks like it's got the potential to be a little bit frustrating as well. Like you know how a puzzle game in VR, if you're spending too much time fannying about, it's a bit, time moves slower in VR, doesn't it? So yeah. Well, yeah, I guess probably wait for reviews or review it ourselves, hopefully.
Okay. Next up on my list is Arken Age. Arken Age.
Arken, he's back.
Hey.
Arken.
We saw a trailer for that. It was revealed a few weeks ago. Looking good. Haven't heard anything about it since, but yeah, that was definitely a promising one that we talked about.
It's one of the most promising that we've seen so far, I would say, in terms of like from the games I've made before, which off the top of my head I can't remember. But that looks really. It's a nice mix of not genres, but Seth. It's almost like that kind of prehistoric, medieval. Kind of hard to where you look at it.
It's almost like sci-fi mixed with like fantasy, medieval kind of. Yeah, it's got
that's what they described it, wasn't it? Sci-fi fantasy type thing.
Well, there you go. Nailed it, haven't I?
Yeah, you have. Well done. But it looks really good, and it looks very, very big budget, big spectacle type stuff. So, next up, Lo-Fi, which is kind of an indie cyberpunk game. So see on my radar.
I worry about this one. I just because we haven't seen any actual gameplay.
Yeah,
and it's just like one person.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is the actual game? Which
has always been the concern.
Because it is a small thing, I'm not expecting it to be like a big epic game. It looks, for the trailers, it looks really interesting. So if what they've done, they've turned, because it came out in early access and it had some of the different settings and stuff that you could just be in to explore and just look around in VR and stuff. There was nothing happening in it.
Yeah.
It was more just like a tech demo. And now, since then, we sort of turn those into a game where you can just go around. And the whole point is that it's like, you can do what you like and just wander around. So it seems a bit aimless. So I don't know how good it will be as a game. But who knows? Maybe they'll be able to come up with some sort of thread that links it all together and stuff and compels you to keep playing it. I don't know.
Almost like, I'd love it. I know, Alex, Citizen Sleeper, one of your top 10 favourite games of all time. Imagine that, but set in this kind of 3D world.
That would be awesome.
And you could almost just have it almost like as a point and click. Just you're in a little kind of a room or a little area that's enclosed, and you're pushing the narrative forward by interacting with the world. Something like that could really work. But
that would be cool.
Guessing what it could be or hoping that it could be something like that.
Next up is your namesake, Ben. It's Sushi Ben.
Two of my favourite things.
Yep. Sushi and Ben. Yep.
We should
be getting that.
Alex, you think this looks shit still? I think it looks.
I've kind of done a 180 on this a wee bit because of how good a reception it's actually received on other platforms. Like people, seems to have
now he's played it on Quest. Now he loves it.
No, I haven't played it, but it's almost. I feel like it's one of those games that's almost kind of got a little, not quite cult-like following, but the people who love it. It's that type of game that I don't think it's going to be one that you're just going to kind of like. You're either not going to like it or you're going to love it.
Yeah. For the makers of the pigeon dating sim. So if you like pigeon dating sims, so you probably like this.
Of course. Yeah. But that hasn't got a date yet, has it?
No, not as far as we were.
No.
But yeah, it's out now.
Feels like we've been talking about it for ages, though. Yeah, I don't know what.
It's been out for a wee while now on the Quest. It's been a few months. I think it's been out on Quest anyway.
Odd.
Well, give it a go. Let us know. And then finally on my list of games is Demio Battles, which we know is coming soon, which looks like a more accessible version of Demio, which is one thing that game needs is to be more accessible to me. Anyway.
Because we did talk about this briefly on that on the side quest episode, because Sean and I had played it together, and it is that. And I know in one of the episodes previously, Laurie, we were talking about how Demio, it was just too long for you to be in a really long session of it, and in that type of game you can't just leave, whereas this is perfect. Like, it's 15-20 minutes a game, and it's just a smaller map, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. The board, it's not quite like the board burns in on you to like reduce the play space so that you're forced to go and battle with each other. You can't avoid or and it's just a really interesting concept, and I think this is the kind of game that, and I think when we were talking about it, what we said is it's almost, you would have wanted, I feel like if you were doing this, you would have brought battles first and then got people into the lore of it and into all the characters and into that, and then progress them on to Demio or Demio or Demio, like however it's actually pronounced.
Demio, I believe is how they pronounce it.
Yeah.
Demio.
Demio.
Like Dolmio, but Demio.
Dolmio. Yeah.
Dolmio, yeah. Yeah.
I think this is a very good game.
Okay, cool. Well, that is the list there that I've got. I'm sure there's other things that I forgot, because there's always other things that I just aren't even on my radar that I just obviously don't have good enough PR, I'm afraid. But there'll be some other things on there. But the thing that I want to just put on that list, there is nothing there that anyone that hasn't bought a PSVR2 yet is not going to look at that list of games and be like, oh, I need to get one because I need to play Behemoth. Because there's nothing there that is going to move the dial for people.
No.
And that, I think, is the problem. We talked about it on the previous episode a couple of weeks ago. We talk about Quest and the fact that Asgard's Wrath's out now. I think Sony need to, at some point, say to people, they're going to have to show a roadmap for stuff that people care about. Because before, they always had, Resident Evil 4 is coming. And people kind of expected that to be in 2024, but obviously that had a surprise release just before Christmas. So Sony always had some big things that people knew about and looking forward to. There's Horizon, there's Resident Evil, there was Grand Theft Auto. First year, I think they did really good, and we'll get to the 1 year episode in a few weeks' time, and we'll do a year review thing where we do hit the first year. But it was really good. But 24, anyone that hasn't already got the headset now thinks, well, should I get one now? There's a few games now that I want to get. I'll get the Resident Evils and stuff. But you want to see that roadmap. You want to see there's going to be games coming that you want to be playing. And I don't think that is a list there that is going to inspire many people to go out and buy a PSVR 2 that haven't already got one.
I mean, that's an argument, though. And we've had this argument before, but what's coming for PlayStation in 2024?
Yeah.
We literally know nothing. I mean, even less now that they cancelled The Last of Us factions. Not to say that was ever planned for 2024, but it's just another place that surely early. I mean, if we've not already had one by now, we might have our Christmas Eve state of play or something just for the bands. But there's got to be some sort of showcase in the early part of this year to give some sort of idea of what's coming.
Yeah, well, they're very much relying on. They've got quite a few third-party games that they've got links with. So they've got obviously Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming. There's Helldivers 2, which is a PlayStation Studios published game. The Last of Us Part 2 remastered coming out as well in the early part of the year. Rise of the Ronin, that seems to be the next sort of big game. Which they're kind of promoting that. You can do pre-order bonuses and stuff, but I'm like, it's a big ask to pre-order that game when I don't really know. No one's previewed it. There's not like a previous game that we can have that. It's a new thing. It's a Koei Tecmo game. So I suppose if you like their games, you could pre-order it. But yeah, for me, a digital pre-order on a game that there's no previews or anything out for, I'm like, why would you do it? Why not wait until just more impressions of it? You're not getting anything early that you're not going to get if you just wait, and you're paying loads for it. You can't get a refund. But yeah, you're right, Alex. We don't really know what Sony's first-party studios are making. We don't know what they're making for PS5 or PSVR 2. There's not really too much on the PS5 at the moment that I'm too excited about in the future, which doesn't bother me because there's loads of games from last year and previously. I still haven't played Elden Ring yet. I really want to play that, so I'm quite happy to have a quiet year. But Sony won't be, and I'm sure it won't be a quiet year. They will at some point reveal stuff they are making. It is very strange. It's been so long since they've really done a big showcase or revealed stuff that's actually got people excited. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Imagine when they do, it'll be all the more exciting.
It will be, but it's just not really a problem. They don't. If you're Sony, we don't need to reveal anything. We can't make these things quick enough, and they are selling like mad. Like the sales are just exploding. And Black Friday sales for PS5 was amazing, but you will not be able to say the same. Obviously, we have no idea what the PSVR2 sales are, but they're not going to be completely stellar. Right now, they are losing ground to Quest, and if Sony are bothered about that, they're going to have to try and come up with a bit of hype for it. They're going to need to try and sell people on the idea of buying into this expensive ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I think for me this year, it doesn't need to be that hard because they will be making some first party games. Surely they've got that Fire Sprite that make games, and even if the game's going to be like a year or two away, you don't reckon?
I don't know. Like, I don't want to be too doom and gloom, but I wouldn't be overly shocked if they didn't release any PSVR2 first party games next in 2024.
Surely Astrobot. I think Astrobot will be a hybrid. I think it'll work on both.
Yeah, but it's such a home run. It's like, well, surely if they were going to do it, why wouldn't they have done it already? That's the mad thing, because like if they were that bothered, there was got to be. I'm sure it's not as simple as dragging and dropping a file, but why haven't they done that?
I mean, Astrobot 2. So I think they need like one first party game at the very least. PSVR 1 ports. Like if they're not bothered about making new games, they've got 4 or 5 games that cannot be played. They're still stuck on PSVR 1. Surely someone can port them across. And then also, Alex, listening to your Quest episode, the media stuff, the non gaming applications for it, which are there in abundance in Quest. Surely they've got to just try and bring. No, let's watch 3D films on the thing. Let's watch 3D sporting events on the thing. So just non gaming apps, PlayStation VR1 ports, and just 1 or 2 new big games. And I think that would just go so far to just really expanding the appeal of the device.
Yeah, and shutting up Ryan McCaffrey because he's done another one of those tweets, hasn't he?
He's tweeted again.
He's done another one.
Yeah.
Still doesn't come on the show. Come on, Ryan.
Yeah, have you asked him?
No, I'm ignoring him.
So and we know like, that list of games, like there will be lots of good stuff there, and don't get me wrong, but the point is it's not stuff that's going to move the dial for people that don't. There's no big franchises there. Presumably Assassin's Creed Nexus will come across maybe like towards the end of 2024. I'm guessing like a year of exclusivity. Who knows? Hopefully it's not that long because I really want to play it. But yeah, so you need to do something. Like it'd be worse than the Vita. At least the Vita got several years of support from PlayStation to just get the launch games, and then pretty much that's it. Capcom made Resident Evil, so you can't put that one down to Sony even. I think since it has just been, hasn't it? The first party games that have just been Call of the Mountain and Gran Turismo.
Basically, yeah.
Firewall was just a published one, really, wasn't it?
Firewall. I'll give you that because that is PlayStation Studios. That was
look. There's a few mysteries, isn't there? There's that first. You remember that trailer they dropped a few weeks ago, where the first game we were all trying to guess what that was, and it looked cool. That could be something. I think getting back to that point, when they do let us know what they're up to, if that's got 1 or 2 first party PSVR2 games, we are going to be over the fucking moon.
Yes.
I think that's the thing. Because we've been starved for so long, it'll be the best feeling in the world.
Especially as the reason we talk, we've got the PSVR2 is because it can leverage the power of the PS5. You can have games that have a fidelity that you cannot get elsewhere apart from maybe on very expensive PC VR. So we want to see something like Call of the Mountain that just really blows us away. All these games we're playing, like Vertigo 2, great game, but graphically it's not. It's made by a small team. It's an indie game. I want to see Sony's big guns coming up with something that just looks absolutely sensational in VR. And if they can't do that, then I think people are going to feel slightly aggrieved at Sony for selling them this headset to play games on with the expectation of support from them.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Hopefully, 2024, we're not going to have to wait too long in the meantime to find out what Sony are making, but we've got a few games to be playing there to look forward to in the meantime, and there will be some good stuff on there, and there will be loads of stuff that we don't know about from indie developers and other second and third
Yeah.
parties as well. So don't want to build doom and gloom. Just want Sony to pull their fucking finger out and do some stuff. Yep. So, on that note, Happy New Year again, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you could please tell your family and your friends and everyone else you know about us. And if you'd like to get more involved, please do not hesitate to drop into our Discord and say hello. It is great to see people in the Discord, and it is the PS VR2 channel is one of the most active and busiest parts of it as well. So if you have got yourself a shiny new PSVR2 headset for Christmas and you want some people to play some games with or chat to about it, then that is your place. Thank you again to all of our patrons for supporting the work we do. I have been your host, Laurie. Apologies for being ill. These two have been Ben and Alex, and we will see you again next time. Until then, though, it's goodbye.